evening, viewers, and welcome to this edition of NTV Sports Page. It's Tuesday, the 21st of May, and I'm Curtis Morton. In our headlines, St. Kitts back-to-back Masters champions. And in our feature for this evening, Frankie Claxton pays tribute to Lester Blackett. We'll take this break, and I'll be right back.
Coming in hot, hot, hot.
Yes, look at this. We are watching NTV. Stay tuned.
Coming in red hot, hot, hot.
Well, I'm back, and we start with cricket. The St. Kitts Masters cricket team is the 2024 Leewards Masters champions for the second year running. The feat was accomplished in Anguilla, where the tournament was held this year from the 16th to the 19th of May. St. Kitts engaged arch-rivals Nevis in the grand finals and scored 168 for 4 in their allotted 20 overs, with Elsewhere Powell top scoring with 58 not out and Greg Stanley getting 50. Patrick Newton picked up 2 for 26. The Nevis team gave it their all in response but succumbed at 148 for 8 in 20 overs. Colin Walwyn top scored with 63 and Stuart Williams got 34. Shane Jeffers had the figures of 3 wickets for 8 runs and Elsewhere Powell 2 for 27. St. Kitts won by 27 runs to take the grand trophy. Elsewhere Powell was named the man of the finals and man of the series. By the way, here's a summary of the preliminary matches. St. Kitts versus Anguilla. St. Kitts won by 37 runs. Antigua versus St. Martin. Antigua won by 6 wickets. Antigua versus St. Kitts match rained out. Each team got 1 point. Nevis versus St. Martin. Nevis won by 9 wickets. Marvin Hamilton 57, Junior Mills 51 not out. Patrick Newton had the amazing figures of 4 wickets for 8 runs. Nevis versus Anguilla. Nevis won by 7 wickets. Colin Walwyn 32, Wendell Wallace 2 for 18. St. Kitts versus Nevis in the preliminary match. St. Kitts won by 28 runs. The aged-old veteran Stuart Williams got 73. St. Kitts versus St. Martin. St. Kitts won by 9 wickets. Anguilla versus Antigua. Anguilla won by 23 runs. Antigua versus Nevis. Nevis won by 6 wickets. Marvin Hamilton 61. Junior Mills 51. Rakesh picked up 3 for 25. St. Martin versus Anguilla. St. Martin won by 9 runs. Meanwhile, Leeward Islands Hurricanes left-arm spinner Daniel Dorham has been named in the Netherlands squad for next month's T20 World Cup in the Caribbean and the United States. The 26-year-old, who was born in the Dutch Caribbean island of St. Martin, made his first-class debut in the Netherlands colours 11 years ago before going on to feature for the Hurricanes in the West Indies Championship. Dorham picked up 29 wickets in the just concluded regional tournament and finished with 16 at just under 12 apiece in last year's Super 50 Cup, but has never featured in a T20 in the Caribbean nor for the Dutch national team. Overall, he has taken 45 wickets from 12 first-class matches and 19 wickets from 11 list day games. Casey Carty, also from St. Martin, is already a member of the West Indies team. And in more cricket news, Brandon King will lead the West Indies in the T20 series against South Africa, which acts as a preparation for the World Cup in the absence of full-time captain Rovman Powell, who remains at the IPL with Rajasthan Royals. The full squad: Brandon King captain, Ruston Chase, Alec Athanaze, Johnson Charles, Andre Fletcher, Matthew Ford, Jason Holder, Akil Hussain, Sharma Joseph, Kyle Mayers, Obed McCoy, Godakish Moti, Romario Shepherd, and Hayden Walsh Jr. All 3 T20s will be played in Jamaica. One starts this coming Thursday, the 23rd of May. The other one is on Saturday, 25th May, and the final one on Sunday, 26th May. We go to break, and when I come back, we'll have our feature for this evening.
Yo, Bobby Dunn and Mr. Killer representing full 100 for NTV. Nevis television, you tell me about this television? Yo, I tell you about this television. This is the biggest and the baddest television. Remember, yo, Nevis television, Mr. Killer said, pick up something, anything. Nevis television said, run with it.
Well, I'm back, and athletics is in the spotlight. Local sports commentator Frankie Claxton recently paid tribute to the late sporting icon of Nevis, Lester Blackett.
Another good man is gone. It's just a price we have to pay. Another good man is gone away. Another good man is gone. We just have to say goodbye, Daddy. We'll meet some other day.
Stand up for Jesus, ye soldiers of the cross, where we have lost a soldier, an icon, a father, a sporting figure. And for many who don't know, he was not only involved in track and field, but he was an excellent footballer. Actually, he was my football coach. He was the football coach for Nevis for many a year. And they were talking about Lester Blackett, who believed in fitness, who believed in standards, who believed in ensuring that things went particularly well. He was very pertinent, he was very efficient, and he was very meticulous in the way things were done. As a coach in football, as a coach and administrator in track and field will be remembered by most people of him. Those who didn't know him, he was a wonderful footballer, and I liken him to the Dwight Yorks of Trinidad, the Kevin Keegans of England. He was that excellent, and had he not been hampered by an injury in the first instance, well, a second instance, I must say, because of his religious background, he never really wanted to play football on a Sunday, and that is what he wanted for the school. He produced very, very successful players out of the Charlestown Secondary School, played in the football competition as Seacos, and they never played on Sundays because of his religious background. He lived by that for many a year, and he was very outstanding, and as I said, an outstanding footballer. But track and field was his forte, and I could remember working with him as a young teacher. When we were both young teachers, we actually started the Athletic Association. Unofficially, then it became official with the likes of Janet Grell-Hull, Jennifer Herbert Hodge, Glenn Hanley, and in the early stages, and later on, the likes of Sooty Byron, Halstead Sooty Byron, the deceased Merrill Carbon, and one or two others. But from my advantage point, I worked along with them in the early stages, and it was meeting either at his parents' home, and when that could not happen, we met at the science lab at the Charlestown Secondary School, and we planned many a meet when it came to track and field. Out of that actually grew the Inter-Primary Championship, which is the hallmark of his work, as he was wholly and solely, as a team we put it together, and he, being a technical person, being a scientific person, believed in statistics, believed in technology, and he was very good in that, and brought videoing into the actual production of the meat, and we, I'm sure, is going to miss an icon. And I call him an icon because I think he was one of the best in terms of not only administration, but in the field of track and field. He was an excellent athlete. For many who might not know him, he's for the young ones, for those of the days of old who followed track and field. And I smile while I say this because I remember him in high school with his brother Melrose having to share one pair of track shoes. And his thing was, you take the track shoes for the 200 and the 400, because Melrose was a very good middle distance runner. I think he was one of the best St. Kitts Nevis has ever produced in the 400 meters. It was then the quarter mile, and he, Lester, would use the track shoes for the 100 meters and the relays, because they both had to run against each other in the relays. But that's a light moment for me, but outstanding figure in track and field. Outstanding, and it is very hard for me to really go on to say a lot more because of how close we were. We grew up in high school together. He was a number of classes ahead of me, but he was like an icon. He was our first person who went off on a sports scholarship. And that is one of the things I tried to emulate myself, but was unfortunate in not getting one of the sports scholarships because of various reasons. Names played the game in that day. If you didn't have a proper title, you couldn't get one. But I am very happy that he took on the sports scholarship. He was awarded it by Howard University. And happier still that instead of going on to play professional football or go into professional track and field, because if he had an interest and if he had that mindset, he would have gone on to, but he chose not to. Having graduated, he decided to return to his homeland of Nevis, started off working in Sandy Point St. Kitts as a teacher, pushing sports, then came to Nevis and has been for the rest of his life pushing sports, especially track and field. And so he gave back to his country selflessly. And I do admire him for that, and I do applaud him for that, because others perhaps would have gone on to make a profession out of that area in track and field, which is a big thing now, Moneymaker, which is a football now, and as we call it, soccer, because Americans call it soccer. They have their football, but we would have been very proud of him if he had ventured into those areas, because he would have made a big hallmark in those fields had he gone out there. One of the best, and I call him one of the best professional footballers that we have seen, one of the best track and field personnel, and in administration especially, would have been part of the group that started, and almost single-handedly would have been there on his own at times, trying to push track and field. So I do send the condolences to his wife, Vernice, their daughter, and to the Blackett's family as a whole, especially Clyde and Melrose, who would have been closer to me at the time. And we have lost somebody, a soldier, an icon. And I, Frankie Claxton, would like to extend my condolences to the Blackett's family, to Vernice and her family, on behalf of myself and my wife and my family. We have lost a soldier, an icon.
Another good man is gone. A price we have to pay. Another good man is gone. Away. Yeah. Another good man is gone. We just have to say, so long, brother, we'll meet some other day. So long, brother, we'll meet some other day.
Well, that's our package for this evening. I am Curtis Morton, reminding you that you can watch sports if you're not fit. But to play sports requires fitness, diligence, and sacrifice. Have a good night.